आता मैंने कह रही हूँ प्राइज मनी ना मुझे दे देगा क्योंकि आपको सूट नहीं करती। उर्दू में देंगे इंग्लिश में? जोर उसकी होगी। Silence. Excuse me.
Round 25 is about to start, and meanwhile we are going for King of the Hills. और अभी जो मेरे साथ हैं वो हैं वसीम खत्री, जो कि करंटली नंबर 1 चल रहे हैं. तो इन्हीं से पूछते हैं इनका एक्सपीरियंस अभी तक का कैसा रहा, बताएं जी.
Assalamualaikum. अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस अभी तक स्टिल नॉट नंबर 1 बट 3 राउंड हो रहे हैं और एटलीस्ट आई नीड टू विन 1 or 2 राउंड्स टू बिकम अ नेशनल चैंपियन फॉर 9th टाइम.
For the 9th time. तो अभी तक का आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा जा रहा है? क्या मतलब टफ कंपटीशन मिल रहा है? क्या मतलब अभी बाकी प्लेयर्स किस तरीके से खेल रहे हैं?
एक्चुअली आई वाज डोमिनेटिंग फ्रॉम लास्ट 2 days, तो आज माशाल्लाह से इमाद और कमाल ने से कमबैक किया एंड दे आर ऑलमोस्ट नियर टू मी नाउ. एक गेम पीछे है, इमाद एक गेम पीछे और हमाद 2 गेम पीछे. तो इट्स एनीबॉडी एक्चुअली चैंपियनशिप.
सही बात है. वसीम खत्री, आप मुझे एक बात बताना चाहिए, मतलब ऑब्वियसली इतने दिनों से पेंडेमिक चल रहा था, किसी की कोई प्रिपरेशंस नहीं हो रही थी, तो फिर आप इस टूर्नामेंट के लिए, स्पेशली बिकॉज ये नेशनल चैंपियनशिप है, इसके लिए आपने किस तरीके से प्रिपेयर किया?
एक्चुअली वी वर प्लेइंग ऑनलाइन. हम कॉम्पिटिटिव स्क्रैबल खेल रहे थे, वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड कप भी खेला हमने. तो डेफिनेटली इट्स नॉट जो कंपेयर करें आप इसको लाइव कोर्स को, तो ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है. बट स्टिल वी वर इन प्रैक्टिस विद वर्ड्स and we were practicing online as well. So there was only the option left to practice.
ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच एंड बेस्ट ऑफ लक.
Thank you.
अजमान इमाद अपना मास्क रिमूव करके आओ.
So right now I have Imad Ali, and he is currently number number 2 and he was the favorite to win. So Imad, अब आप बताइए कि क्या चल रहा है, क्या पोजीशन है और अभी क्या सिचुएशन है, कैसा गेम जा रहा है?
अभी सेकंड पोजीशन पे हूँ और एक्सपेक्टेड तो यही कि आखिरी 3 गेम वसीम भाई से वसीम खत्री और देखते हैं उसमें क्या होता है। फेवरेट तो अभी वसीम भाई है, उनकी भी उम्मीद है।
अच्छा इमाद, क्योंकि पेंडेमिक चल रहा था आप लोगों की उस तरह से मतलब आप लोग गेम्स खेल तो नहीं पा रहे थे जैसे आप लोग रेगुलर बेसिस पे खेलते रहते हैं, तो आप किस तरीके से प्रिपेयर कर रहे थे अपने आप?
प्रिपरेशन सॉफ्टवेयर ही होते हैं उसमें से कर लेता हूँ और बीच में ऑनलाइन भी चल लेते हैं गेम्स, टूर्नामेंट्स हुए थे उनमें भी खेल रहा था।
तो आप सिर्फ अपनी कंट्री के लोगों के साथ खेल रहे थे या फिर आप बाहर से भी खेल रहे थे?
इंटरनेशनल सीरीज चल रही थी एक किस्म की, उसमें खेल लेते और पाकिस्तान उसमें काफ़ी कामयाब है।
सही बात है। थैंक यू इमाद एंड बेस्ट ऑफ लक। थैंक यू।
मैंने आपको बेस्ट ऑफ लक।
It's okay. Don't say it in the mic, dude. It's okay.
सामान नहीं ले लेते
मत थोड़ा लंबा बोलने लगे, बहुत थोड़ा थोड़ा बोल रहे हैं। थोड़ा बताना कि बायलैटरल्स के लिए
Silence, please.
now I have Hamad Hadi Khan. He is currently number 3, and I would like to ask him about his experience for this tournament.
Well, this has been a tough event for me since I wasn't performing so well in the first 2 days. I had almost 8 losses and I wasn't in the race of even finishing in top 10. I was 12th at the end of day 2. So, um, well, for me, it's not even close to winning right now because technically I have very low margins of winning this game. It would be a miracle, honestly, a miracle if things would turn out in my favor. So I seriously hope that miracles happen because they do happen. So I hope I hope there's some way for me to win the championship. But I'm still continuing to win the third position.
Okay, Matt, best of luck for that. But due to the pandemic, all of you were like stuck at home, obviously, because of the quarantine. So, how did you prepare for this tournament, considering the fact that this is like the Masters category national championship, and it's a huge thing for you guys, right? So, how did you prepare for this?
Obviously, pandemic was a tough time for everyone, but I tried to make most of my time preparing for Scrabble. I tried playing Scrabble with my friends. I played online Scrabble. I played Scrabble with my brothers at home. I also tried to do word city in my free time. I did card box, I did roulette, and every possible thing, every possible resource I had, I made the most out of it. So yeah,
Okay, Matt, thank you so much, and I hope you win. Best of luck.
thank you.
Thank you.
Made the most out of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
शान Right, welcome everybody. It looks like we're on the game now, round 25. And it's Wasim Khatri. It looks like he's on the top left. And playing Imad Ali in the top right. Looks like we've had a couple of moves, so I'll try and catch up with where they're at. I'm not sure who's on turn at the moment, but looks like we've had a change there from Wasim. Oh no, Exiant has gone down. Okay. So I'll hopefully get these moves in place so we can have a score update. Yeah, I played. So by my reckoning, Wasim is leading 58 to 22, but that might not be right. But I think that's the approximate score. So just to bring you the context of this is round 25 of the round 27 round tournament. Wasim has played Imad 4 times already. Imad won 3 of those, so Imad's a little bit of a nemesis so far. And they have to carry that on because Wasim is leading the tournament. He's on 18 wins, and Imad is on 17. The spread is fairly comparable. Imad is about 90 points or so behind on spread. So obviously, if Imad won this one by a little bit of a margin, he would overtake Wasim. But we'll see how it goes. So it looks like we've seen a play of Lord from Imad. And that's going to bring the scores to 58 to 44 in favour of Wasim. At least that's what we think the scores are. Yeah, it looks like Wasim has quite a good rack here. Well, the core of a good rack. Looks like he's going to play SMR off, leaving Stir. Stir's very strong. It's a nice kind of synergistic, bonus-friendly combination to have. And it's the kind of rack leave you want in the early game because you're going to get a lot of. It's the best time to get bonuses down. The board's usually fairly open. You see, there's plenty of places to go with S. So Wasim we're looking to play off something that leaves as good a rack as possible. So for those who don't know, Exeunt is a Latin expression. I think it's used in like players and that kind of thing. It's a stage direction. It means they go out. So that doesn't take an S. So it's a little bit of a trap there. Got to be aware of. Wasim probably knows that, but so down goes Vims. Does leave a couple of R's. So it's not the greatest for bonusing, but it does score pretty well. But yeah, it probably was the best move, given it scored so much. 35 points for that, putting Wasim up by 49 points. And it's now on Imad's play. He's got the Y there. Not the greatest rack for scoring. Looks like it's going for join, leaving YUT. Not the prettiest, but join will score quite nicely. Getting a little bit of a staircase pattern here on this game. Just kind of lots of parallel players, but sometimes it goes like that, but there's still plenty of scope to get a bonus down here. So join keeps Imad in touch. 93-22. It looks like Wasim has picked out the Q. So is Wasim going to change here? You can't really do much with that Q. You could play off Cats, QATS, but that would really break up his rack. So yeah, it seems reasonable to change there. He's leaving such a strong rack leave, keeping star. That's going to lead to a bonus quite a lot of the time. So Wasim changes. And it's back on Imad's turn. 11 points behind. Imad still struggling with that Y. The Y isn't on a bad tile. It's just not. It's really bad for bonusing. So the Y is a kind of tile where you'll get a lot of 30s and 40-point plays, but it's very difficult to bonus with a Y. A lot of those 4-pointers have a similar dynamic where if you've got one, you'll probably get good 30-40 consistently, but it's very difficult to get a bonus down because there just aren't that many words available with such tiles. So down goes Ruli. And yeah, just as you can see, Imad had a couple of Ys there, so yeah, it's a good idea to get rid of one of them. Even two of them would be great, but that's difficult to do. But has got Ruli down. That's going to give him a little bit of an edge in terms of score. Puts Imad up by 11. And Wazim looks like we're going to see a bonus here, I think. So this is the last time he kept star. Doesn't look like the best pickup. Picking up another A and an O and an N. The N is good, but he actually has a 7 here. Doesn't look like he spotted it yet, though. But there is a 7 here. No, it looks like he might miss it. This would be a big moment. As you play in a tournament, it gets longer and longer. You find that you miss things like this. As you get tired and fatigued and the pressure goes on. It's all a combination of factors. But yeah, it looked like he had Taranas there. And that's not a difficult one for it. It's what we call a high probability play or a high probability bonus. So yeah, that was a big miss. So Taranas would have played in a couple of places for nearly 70 points. And that's a huge miss. Aura only scores 21. Does keep good tiles, but that's a big miss. It could be a big swing in this game. Particularly as Wasim also picked the Q out again. So in the meantime, Imad has played Koi. Yeah, it looks pretty reasonable. You could have played Toady and Bawdy. Toady without the A. That would have been another point, but it's pretty much the same. A little bit more defensive, maybe. Wouldn't have allowed cats to go down, so it did kind of have an effect on the game, but down goes cat for Wazim. Sorts out the problem. He got the key again, but he did keep ING, so it's not too bad. Although, this is one of those boards that isn't very good for ING words because it's so blocked, basically. With ING, you really need to get combinations down. And looks like it's a Frig from Imad. Let's go give just to give you a score update. So Imad is leading 166 to 147. That's interesting positionally because with QI it does take the N, and Wazim does have a couple of N's to choose from here. And Ag is going to take a lot of hooks, vowels, considering. So he's going to play something like noun, and that's going to go pretty well. It's a pretty horrible wreck for Wazim. It looks like he's got a couple of N's, a couple of I's. Not pretty at all. And but going to be able to score, which is a good thing on this board. You don't want to be trailing too much on this board, trying to chase the game, because as you can see, the pattern has been very much a staircase. What we mean by that, it goes from bottom left to top right of the board. You just get lots of overlapping plays, and it kind of makes it very awkward to get things down. So yeah, it looks like he's looking at gun. So the rack I have, I think it's gun plus a couple of I's or N. So yeah, I don't know what he's looking at there. Seems a natural thing to do here is to play around that QIN spot. Okay. That's nice. Yeah, I didn't think of that. So he's played Gut Chin, Guqin. So yeah, I didn't think of that, but I still think now Noni is going to be a little bit stronger than that. Scores an extra couple of points. All the rack leaves are pretty horrible. But yeah, that's an interesting option. It is a little bit more defensive in some respects. It doesn't really give away that 7 line, so it does keep things tight. So that might be part of Wazim's strategy in this game. Try and keep it tight. Try and win the kind of strategical battle. You can see Imad played very quickly during this game. Looks like, yeah, just gone for the triple, the top right with 5, which scores 30. So that brings the scores to 181 to Wazim, and Imad 196 in the top right. Not a bad pickup for both players. It doesn't look like a great rack for Wazim, but it's played off Hick. It's going to be a good score. That's the main thing. The 2H is obviously bad, but they have a lot of synergy with the C. The CH combination is strong. And the C's good because it's giving him Clad. So he's getting a reasonable play there, reasonable score. And that keeps Wazim up by 12. But yeah, back on turn now with Imad. Finally, I'd say Imad's rack is starting to mature towards that bonus again. Starting to get to a point where he thinks he might be able to form a similar wood. On this board, where on earth he'd play it is another matter entirely. But yeah, he's starting to get that rack that's kind of maturing towards a 7-letter. He has got the S, so he's got the S for Good Chin, and put an S on the end of that. But I don't know, Good Chin? It's the same as chin, basically. It's a Chinese word, so you've got the QI, it's pronounced with a ch sound. So Good Chin is kind of Chinese zither. So it's like a little stringed instrument. So yeah, just Imad going all out for the bonus there, just playing off FE. He has got the T behind, he's leaving toys by the looks of things. So he's played fair for 18. And that's a pretty strong move. There was one other option, very difficult to spot. You could play Foxy through XI in the bottom left corner of the board. You can just see XI there with just the next word down from evade, exeunt and all that area. Foxy leaving bay would be nice, but yeah, fair does the job. Leaves a very strong rack leave. And it looks like a quick play from Wazim of Unheal. So Imad leading by 6, but Unheal scores 39 for Wazim. Put him up by 33. Not the worst rack. Oh, wow. Wow. So Imad, obviously the Z, has picked out the Z. Usually not so good for bonusing, but really good for scoring. But in this situation, he actually has a bonus through the L. Can you spot it? Can you spot the bonus through the L? One of those. It's one of those you almost don't look for it. That's the problem when you have the Z. You don't look for bonuses. You're just looking, thinking, where can I score 40 points with a Z or whatever. You almost don't look because you've got the ZE spot there in Unheal. You could just play ZE, scores 40 odd. You almost don't look for bonuses. That's always the danger with the Z, but yep, he has a bonus. To be fair, there will be, in terms of mistakes, just playing ZE won't be a big one, but because his rack cleave is so strong anyway, although having said that, there's only so much value in having a kind of bonusy rack cleave on a board like this where it's pretty tough to get anything down. So yeah, he has played ZE. He's kept toys again, but he actually had zeolites. zeolites through the L. And that would have been 71. Not a big score in terms of bonuses when you have the Z, but yeah, and quickly hit with Sopia. So zeolites it's basically a mineral. And yeah, that would have been a big player, but he's not bad. It put Imad up 11, but as you can see, Sopia has come down quickly from Wazim. All about what did Imad pick up after the ZE? It looks like is that an R or an A? I can't quite make out. It looks pretty good. Either way, Wazim leading by 70, 328 to 258 according to my scores. So I can't quite make out. Either way, whether it's an R or an A, it's going to be a bonus here for Imad. Going to level things up again. We've not seen a blank yet, so oh yeah, we have had. Oh no, we haven't. No blanks at all. So there's still 2 blanks unseen. Wazim has not picked either of them. Yeah, it looks like an R. Yeah. So it looks like Imad is going to have things like Tertian, Orient, Stonia, Norites, all these kind of words. There's quite a lot with that 7-letter setup. It's just which one he wants to play, really. Obviously, Sopia opened up the triple. If he can get something down there, he could play Tertian, but that would set up a big hot spot because Tertian would finish one short of the triple word score on the bottom right. So maybe worried about that, but it's probably the best option. It scores 6 points more than the next best. You could play more defensive things, but Imad is trailing by 70 here. He just needs to go all out, really. It's all about who picks up the blanks, really, I think, at this point. So I'm just looking at the unseen tiles from Imad's perspective. Both blanks are still out there. And you can see neither are on Wazim's rack. So they're still out there. They're still going to be huge in this game. Although it's a pretty blocky board. But not quite at the moment because of that Sopia play opened up a big triple. You can't quite see on the far right column, but Sopia went down. So the kind of right side of the board is available, but it's yeah. So it looks like he's gone for Tertian, which I think is the right play. Just because it scores more. Simple as that. It scores more by quite a distance. Even the next best play, Stonia, leaves the triple word open. So all of them are very open. All the best scoring options there. So he's gone for Tertian. You can see the N in the top right. He's just dangling there. Just above the triple word score. Wazim's going to look a little bit sick because he doesn't have the blank. Oh, wow. Looks like Imad hasn't picked out the blanks either. Oh, so that's crucial. Neither player has picked out a blank. So just to give you a score update, Imad is now leading 340, 328 according to my scores. And yeah, he's doing the right thing here, Wazim. He's kind of obscuring that S hook for Tertian. They say there's no S's left, but there are 2 blanks left. So he's kind of obscuring it. He's also turning over lots of tiles, try and get one of those blanks, or even both blanks if he can. So, and it looks like he's missed the blanks again. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. So Outwin puts Wazim up by 10. And I'm just going to try and have a look. It doesn't look the greatest. Well, it's not bad. Is that 2 Gs, I think? So it looks like Imad only has 1 vowel here, from what I can make out. It looks like bring. Look like bring plus another TG. Or maybe not. does look like there's 2 Gs there, but there aren't 2 Gs left, so one of them must be an O or something else. Yeah, probably an O. But yeah, I think the rec is Ringbot, Bring 2, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it looks like it's got 2 vowels. I think one of the G's looks like it is an O because there's only 1 G left, so it must be an O. But yeah, amazing. Both players leaving the blanks left in the bag. Somebody's going to get a pleasant surprise soon. As I say, the score is very close. Aussie leading by 10 at the top left. And so yeah, it looks like 6 tiles in the bag here. Excuse me. So yeah, in Imad's shoes here, you're really looking to play off probably 4 or 5 tiles if you can here. So it looks like we're seeing Groan. No, he's took it back. He was going to go with Groan, but it's really about getting those 2 blanks. You just want to play off as many tiles as possible as you can. You can make an inference from Wazim's last play that he played Outwin. If Wazim has the blank there already, then he's going to play Tertians, basically. He's going to play the blank in that situation. He's going to play Wits or whatever, get Tertians, and, you know, pretty much win the game almost, assuming he doesn't get immediately hit by another bonus. So yeah, you can make an inference from the last play of Outwin that Wazim didn't have a blank in that point. So you know there's still a good chance that there's still available to draw for yourself. So you've got to keep that as a factor. Bronk. Oh, right, yeah. Oh, it looks like it didn't have the G at all. It was a C. My bad. And yeah, both blanks. Drawn both blanks. Wow. Ooh. Actually, worth pointing out here that Bronk also played in the top left. You see Fe. It played alongside there with Chick. Any of for another 9 points. It's a little bit of a mistake, but it also had some value in kind of blocking as well, I guess. But according to my scores, Bronk puts Imad up 367 to 350, so 17 points. But he's not totally safe, even though he's got both blanks. The question is, does he have any bonuses? From my rack, it looks like it looks like he has tile A and 2 blanks. And the K is actually in the bag. Interesting. So if Wazib could find a couple of good outs in 2 here, the question is, does Imad have any bonuses? If not, you'd think he must have with 2 blanks and such a great rack, but the thing was he could score well. So it's basically, he's got to hope that maybe one of the blanks is in the bag, or that Imad can't see the bonuses or anything like that. So it's gone down for Lamp. So Lamp's a nice score, puts Wazim up by 20. And it's up now, all about whether Imad can find a bonus. Yeah, there's a few available. Oh, quite a lot available. And it looks like one of them's going to go down. He could have took a little bit longer. It looks like it's gone for Triella. And that will be good. That will win the game for Imad. He had lots of other options as well. Through the F, he could have played something like Leafiest, Halftime. The best scoring ones are actually with hooking ZE on the bottom row. So something like Galenite is the highest scoring. It also underlaps underneath Outwin. But yeah, Trailer will win the game. The only thing I'd be a little bit more careful there is because it could come down to spread later on. If these two play each other again, that spread could be crucial. So eking out another 10 or 15. So Galenite is 76, Triella was 60. But also, these are two are playing each other, so the spread has double impact, if you know what I mean. So the spread you win, like if you win by 100, that means Wazim's going to lose by 100. So it has double the effect on your score difference. So it could be crucial that 16 points could be crucial come the end of the tournament. But yeah, good play from Ahmed. Found one of the winning players, and Triala was the one. 60 points. I don't think Wazim could do anything at the end there. Really, the mistake was made early on when he missed Taranas. That was the crucial move, I think. That would have really given Wazim. That was a big mistake. And it's a word Wazim will know. Taranas is what we say is a high probability bonus. What it means by that is it's a bonus word that if you just draw 7 random tiles from the bag, it will come up a lot more often than other 7-letter words. Just because there are a lot of A's, there are a lot of R's, T's, O's, S's. There's only 4 S's, but all the other tiles there's more. There's 8 O's, there's 6 T's, 6 R's, 6 N's, 9 A's. So it's very likely to come out. If you're going to choose a bonus, I mean, in terms of probability, there's about 40,000 7-letter words that come out. And Torana's is 1,761st of those that could come out. So it's one of the most probable ones, the most likely to occur. So Scrabblers, we learn these words that are most useful first. Obviously, we don't. Well, some people will learn the most ridiculous words first, but we learn in, that would be like a bread and butter move to Wazim. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. That's probably what cost the game in the end. He played it pretty well otherwise. Let's say Imad missed the Zeolites, but that is again, it's an easy one to overlook. Just because you see the ZE, you've got 40 odd, such a good strong play already. You don't really look for it, but yeah. So I'll make the final scores in that game: 449 to 387. Is it? So yeah, it was funny seeing the blanks come out so late. But yeah, they did come out, and both players played their situation well by turning over lots of tiles and giving themselves as much chance as possible to get one of those, or both of those, as it happened. Get those blanks, such a crucial thing to do. Overlooked thing, but that's where we use tile tracking. We look at, as we're playing, you see the score pads on the top 2. You can just see Wazim's has a big black area where he's using like a felt tip or whatever to cross off letters as they occur. So you'll see that both players will see there was 2 blanks to come, and knowing that getting one of those blanks is crucial. And as we saw in the end, Imad got both of them, and it basically meant even on such an awkward board, he had lots of bonuses there available. Let me see. I think there was 12, 13 bonuses available, although some of them are duplicated. So yeah, 10 separate bonuses were available. Galenite, Bakelite, Tape Line, Leafiest, Olified, Halftime, Citella, Catelaw, Triala, and Tequila. All those that were available just because you had 2 blanks. Gives you so much flexibility. So yeah, that should, according to my maths, coming into this match, round 25, Imad was trailing by a win and a spread difference of 93. So according to my scores, Imad won by 62. So that means it'll be ahead on spread by about 30-ish, about 30 points or thereabouts. So yeah, they'll both be on the same number of wins. They'll both be on 18 wins, 7 losses now. But Imad has the better spread by about 30 points. So obviously, when you're playing each other, which they'll probably play each other again in the next 2 matches, although it depends on other results and that kind of thing, how it's paired, how the fixtures are generated. But I'd expect these two to play again, and if they do, then as I say, that there's extra little points everywhere. Not just about winning, but winning by as much as you can eke out. Every little point could be crucial in the end. Let's say if Wazim wins the next one by 15, the spread will be basically the same. They'll have the same points difference. Obviously, Wazim would then be game ahead. And then it would just become down to whether Imad can win the last game or not. But it could also come down to a situation where one player will need to win by a certain amount to overtake the other. So in this situation there, Imad needed to win by 47, I think, to overtake Wazim. But there's 2 rounds to go. It's likely to come down to a situation where both players will know exactly what they need to do. It might be that they just need to win by a certain margin, or they might need to win by just need to win at all, or even draw. Or, you have a situation where, you can just, if the next game ends up being a big win, one way or another, then you can play more defensively and just make sure you don't get hammered in the last game, that kind of thing. So it's going to come down to a lot of all that kind of thing. Excuse me. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So you can see on the scoreboard, I've got an update now, and so Imad is now officially leading, and the final score 451-387 for that game. So 64-point win. I think I've got that right. Thank God. So Imad is now leading the tournament, but only by 35 points of spread. Both players are on 18 and 7. Imad is plus 1357. That's his points difference spread. Wazim 18 and 7 plus 1,322. So there's only 35 points difference. So that means if Wazim won the next game, if they played against each other next round, Wazim would need to win by 18 to overtake him back, to go back again. But I say, if they keep playing each other, which I expect it'll happen, but we don't know for sure, then yeah, it could go. Every point here, every point eked out could be crucial. And I say that the kind of 16 points not taken at the end here by kind of rushing to play out quickly, that could be crucial. Because that 16 points would have been, the spread, instead of being 35, it would now be 32 points more. So it would now be 67 points difference. And that's another 16 points. Wazim would need to beat Imad by later on, perhaps. Just to round out the top few places. So in third, we've got Hamad Hadi. Mm-hmm. He's only 1 win behind, so he may play. I don't know how the fixtures are going to work. So yeah, Hamad is in third. He's on exactly the same spread as Wazim. 17 wins, 8 losses, plus 1,322 spread. But he is a win behind. So we'll see what happens with the pairings. And in fourth, we've got Hasham Hadi He's a further win behind and quite a lot of spread behind on 16 wins, 9 losses, plus 675. We've got some other results yet to come in yet. Some players on 15 and 9 who probably one of them will overtake Hashem in 4th. So yeah, interesting. But it looks like probably going to be between these two players. Who wins? Only 2 rounds to go now, so you'd expect it between the top 2, but depending on pairings, how the fixtures generated, it could be that Hamad could have a say in things yet, but we'll keep an eye out, see what happens. So just for the record, that was, as I say, Imad has been a little bit of a nemesis for Wasim in this tournament. I think that's now, Imad is now leading the 5 games between them 4-1 in this tournament. So I don't think Wasim will worry about that, but it does help if you keep beating your rival in these tournaments. Okay, so 2 rounds to go. I'm just going to get some water, and I'm sure we'll be back for another game soon. There's a lot of results going, and so Imad is playing very quickly, so I'm guessing it'll be a little bit of a while before we see the next game, but hopefully be live very soon. And of course, if you do have any questions, pass them on. I'm more than happy to answer those.
Right now, I have Basil Khan, and he is currently number 4 at the moment. So let's ask him कि उनका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा जा रहा है और जीतने के चांसेस लग रहे हैं कि नहीं. जी बासिल.
सबसे पहले तो अल्लाह का शुक्र अदा करता हूँ कि इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस रही है. दूसरा फर्स्ट का तो अब इमाद और वसीम भाई में चल रहा है. सेकंड और थर्ड प्लेस के लिए रन कर रहा हूँ और काफ़ी खुशी हो रही है कि बहुत अरसे बाद कमबैक हुआ है और इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस रही है.
तो बासिल, एक इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि आप इंटर स्कूल से आए हैं. सही है, इंटर स्कूल से नेशनल चैंपियनशिप, वो भी मास्टर्स कैटेगरी में आना एक बहुत इतने ज़्यादा टाइम फ्रेम में भी नहीं, जल्दी आए हैं. तो मतलब क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा तब से अब तक, क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट रही, कैसे प्रैक्टिस की?
सबसे पहले तो वालिदैन और साथिज़ा की दुआएं हैं. बाकी मोइज़ भाई के साथ बहुत प्रैक्टिस की है उसके अलावा लॉकडाउन में बहुत फारिग टाइम रहा, पढ़ाई कुछ नहीं थी तो स्क्रैबल ही कर रहे थे. इस वक्त अम्मी घर पे बैठ के दुआएं कर रही हैं, इसलिए जो इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस जारी जा रही है.
सही बात है. ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच बासिल, थैंक यू वेरी मच. So right now I have Mr. Taha Hassan. He is playing for a long, long time now. I remember seeing him like he was really like, I think 6, 7 years old. 8 years old. Okay, 8 years old. So right now you're playing the Masters category championship. Like, what is your position and what do you see? Like where you'll stand at the end of the day?
Right now, I'm actually in the 7th or 8th position right now, and it's getting really tough because people around me are like on the same wins. It's just the spread that's separating us, and the last 2 games are going to be really, really crucial because that's going to decide how, at the end of the day, the standings are designed and all. And so it's getting tougher because everyone's obviously putting in their best, and everyone's getting tired too since like we've been playing since the last 2 days now. So yeah, that's going good.
So Taha, how did you prepare for this tournament? Because this is a big thing for you guys, right? So due to the pandemic, all the activities were at a halt. So how did you prepare for this?
Actually, my preparation wasn't as good as I would have wanted it to be because it was like it came out of nowhere, the whole thing, because due to the pandemic, like it was supposed to be, it usually happens in the June, July, but because of the pandemic, it has been shifted to September. So yeah, obviously my preparation wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, and then I had my online college classes as well. So obviously it was a bit difficult managing everything.
So I heard that Pakistan Scrabble Association was actually playing games bilateral series with the other countries. So were you a part of it or weren't you?
Yeah, I was part of the ones with Philippines and other countries. It was a great experience, like keeping us on our toes and keeping us fresh with Scrabble, and we could like kept revising what we already knew, and so like our skills didn't get rusty. And it's good, like you can see it, the results of that playing in the pandemic coming out here. Like we're not totally out of practice. It's like it's there, but we're good. We're good.
You're good, right? So I saw a lot of ups and downs with your game. So is it because of the pandemic that your preparation was not there? But it's a very good thing that you came back up. So what are your chances now? What do you think that you're gonna finish till this? What is your aim?
Yeah, the ups and downs are like part of the tournament. It's a 3-day tournament and 27 games. So yeah, ups and downs happen because when you go out, you have to lose some games, obviously. Unless you're working hard, you don't lose. But then you go down and you come back up. So yeah, that happens. But now I'm hoping, inshallah, for well, it was a top 3 finish in mind, but now top 5 will do, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Taha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And right now, I have the General Secretary of Pakistan Scrabble Association with me. His name is Akbar Hussain Khan. And let's ask him about this championship. Ji, Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. First, I would like to thank Farmibo for the beautiful venue and especially for the Quetta Gladiators who are always with us in all the programs. Last year, at the start of this year, we conducted inter-school with the support of Quetta Gladiator, and that was an awesome event we conducted before COVID-19. Yeah. So I'm thankful to Allah because by the grace of Allah, we have conducted a very nice tournament, which is our national championship. And at this point of time, when we have finished around 26 matches, still we are not able to decide who would be our national champion. That is quite strange. So hopefully the best player will win. And if you are talking about the COVID-19 situation, I first would like to thank our team members, especially Tariq Parvez Saab, who always engage our youth for the tournament and everything, and and the young champion or 8-time champion Wasim Khatri, especially because I would like to especially announce his name every time because he is the man who is behind all the current champions. So that's our success. And despite there are lots of problems during the COVID-19, we were everyone was scared, and he gave a proposal to organize online tournament, and that yeah, that was a very good initiative, and we conducted several online tournament with the other countries as well, and they appreciated our efforts, especially Wasim Khatri's efforts, and always Tariq Parvez was behind him.
So PSA was not sitting idle, and you were organizing a lot of online events, and you even organized the bilateral series. Can you please tell me about that as well?
Yes, we had around 6 to 7 bilateral. We had the bilateral series with England, South Africa, Kenya, Malaysia, and a couple of more. If I
And the
forgot,
virtual World Cup, right?
virtual World Cup. And you know that our team was in the semi-final where Imad, the young chap, he's always surprising us every time, very consistent, mashallah. And I would like that he always be consistent and represent our name in the world.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I hope.
टूर्नामेंट के सबसे छोटे और शायद सबसे सीनियर प्लेयर हैं। एक है बिलाल अशर और दूसरे मिस्टर अनवार सिद्दीकी साहब। अनवार अंकल के बारे में एक बात बहुत मशहूर है, ये एक तो हमारे सबसे सीनियर प्लेयर हैं और दूसरी बात बच्चों के साथ जब भी खेलते हैं उनको बहुत इंकरेज करते हैं, उनको बहुत दुआएं देते हैं। अगर आप उनसे हारें तब भी स्पोर्ट्समैनशिप का बहुत मुजाहिरा करते हैं और इनसे सबको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। और माशाल्लाह से बहुत आप 3 चैम्पियनशिप्स नेशनल चैम्पियन 3 दफ़ा के रह चुके हैं और सबसे पुराने नेशनल चैम्पियन अगर मैं कहूँ इस वक्त मौजूद वो आप ही होंगे। तो अंकल आप प्लीज़ थोड़ा सा अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बताइए और जो आपकी जर्नी रही है पाकिस्तान स्क्रैबल एसोसिएशन के साथ।
पाकिस्तान स्क्रैबल को मैं 92 में ज्वाइन किया
करीब कर लेगा अंकल ऐसा।
और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह जब तो मैं ज्वाइन किया है इससे मुंसलिक हुआ हूँ, मैं पूरी तरह हिस्से ले मेरे मेरे बच्चों ने भी खेला, मेरे पोतों ने भी खेला है, उन्हें इंटर स्कूल किया शामिल। तो ये बड़ा ही सुपीरियर गेम है, इंटेलिजेंट, यानी इसको कहते हैं कि बेस्ट प्लेयर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड है। दुनिया की जो वरीज होते हैं उनको दूर करता है और इसको खेलने वाला, संजीदगी से खेलने वाला बहुत सारी बीमारियों से बचा रहता है। और इसका माहौल भी बहुत अच्छा है, यहाँ पर छोटे बड़े सब बड़ी मोहब्बत से खेलते हैं और साफ रहते हैं। अब अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मुझको मैंने यहाँ खेलते हैं, मैंने इसको जब मैं सऊदी अरब में था, जब मैंने 80 में 1980 में शुरू किया था और इसको कंटिन्यू हो रखा है। मैं सऊदी अरब को भी चैंपियन हूँ और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। तो फिर मैं इससे तरह मैं इंडिया भी 2 बार जा चुका हूँ, 3 बार। वहाँ पर बेंगलोर में टूर्नामेंट तो एक बम्बई में हुआ था और बैंकॉक का जो टूर्नामेंट है वो भी मैंने शामिल किया। सारा मैं पहला पाकिस्तानी हूँ जिसने पाकिस्तान को रिप्रेजेंट किया है इंटरनेशनल टूर्नामेंट में लंदन में 95 में। तो बहुत ज़बरदस्त मेरा जर्नी रही है। तो अब मैं ये बच्चों को सिखा रहा हूँ, सीख रहे हैं। बच्चे बहुत अच्छे हैं, बहुत अखलाक के भी और खेल के भी बहुत अच्छे हैं, बहुत फायदे। मैं इन सब बच्चों को मेरी बात है कि बड़े सुकून से खेलें, जल्दी करते हैं, 15-15 मिनट छोड़ देते हैं, 25 मिनट होते हैं। तो इनको थोड़ी सी ट्रेनिंग की ज़रूरत है और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारे तारिक साहब जो हैं इसलिए बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं और ये उनकी साहबजादी हैं, ये भी बड़े मेहनत कर रहे हैं। मैं इन सब का शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि इन्होंने स्क्रैबल को पाकिस्तान में जिंदा किया और ये इंशाल्लाह इनकी सरपरस्ती में ये स्क्रैबल बहुत आगे बढ़ेगा अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। हाँ इंशाल्लाह।
वाकई अनवार अंकल हर वक्त आप सबको बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं। आपका बड़प्पन है कि आप इतनी तारीफ़ें ज़रूर करते हैं और आपके जूनियर्स को आपसे सीखने से मिलता है। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट। और बिलाल, अब ये तो चैम्पियनशिप के एक फेवरेट बने हुए हैं क्योंकि अचानक इतनी छोटी उम्र में आके इतना अच्छा खेल रहे हैं, सब बड़ों की नज़र आप पे है माशाल्लाह से। तो मतलब आपका क्या है, मतलब कैसा जा रहा है टूर्नामेंट? दिस इज़ योर फर्स्ट टाइम प्लेइंग नेशनल चैम्पियनशिप, तो कैसा जा रहा है आपका?
पिछली दफ़ा खेल रहा हूँ, पिछली दफ़ा तो मैं सिर्फ एक जीता था, बाकी हसन अली अंकल के बायस जीता था।
अच्छा,
शुक्र अल्लाह इस दफ़ा तो शुक्र अल्लाह 30 मिनट्स तो हो गई हैं।
चलो वाह माशाल्लाह, इतने सारे बड़े बड़े लोगों के साथ खेलना, जो कि वो भी मास्टर्स कैटेगरी में, बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। तो आपको ये एक्सपीरियंस कैसे जा रहा है? आपको सीखने को मिल रहा है या कैसा?
हाँ, इससे स्क्रैबल से सीखने को भी बहुत कुछ मिलता है, मेंटल मैथ भी अच्छी होती है, आपको वर्ड्स की मीनिंग भी ज़्यादा याद आना शुरू हो जाते हैं।
मजा आ रहा है या हारने का डर भी है?
मज़ा आया, लेकिन हारने का भी कम कम डर है।
कम कम डर है, अभी सीख रहे हैं ना, अभी तो सीख रहे हैं। तो नेशनल चैंपियनशिप में क्या मतलब लग रहा है कि अभी तो चलो जो जा रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट के लिए क्या तैयारी है आपकी?
नेक्स्ट के लिए तो मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि और मेहनत करूँ और इंशाल्लाह टाइटल को डिफेंड करूँ।
इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह। और आपने पेंडेमिक जो चल रहा था उसमें आपने किस तरह से तैयारी की इस चैंपियनशिप के लिए?
मैं तो कार्ड बॉक्स करता था और पढ़ाई को लेके चलना तो बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है, तो कर लेता था।
तो ऑनलाइन आप टूर्नामेंट्स खेल रहे थे?
ऑनलाइन हाँ खेलता था, लेकिन पढ़ाई पे ज़्यादा फोकस करता था।
पढ़ाई पे ज़्यादा फोकस करें, चले ठीक है। थैंक यू सो मच बिलाल, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू।
Okay, welcome back live, everybody. Back at table 1. So this is round 26 of the Gladiators 32nd Pakistan Scrabble Championship. It's going to be Imad Ali and Wasim Khatri once again. This is the 6th time they've played. And Imad is winning 4-1 so far. But it's all about the tournament standings. Imad is leading. They're both on 18 wins, 7 losses. But Imad has 35 points of spread lead over Wasim, which is pretty much nothing. For Wasim, if there's an 18-point win by Wasim, the spread would swap around. Wasim would be leading on spread, but obviously they're on the same number of wins. It could come down to, in third place, Hamad Hadi could come into the equation. If he wins his game, he's playing Basil Khan. If he wins this game and he overtakes one of these two players, then he'd probably play whoever wins. If he wins his match. And so, yeah, interesting stuff. So we're just waiting to get ready and get started. So yeah, there's 2 rounds to go. And we're at round 26. And it looks like Imad to start. And there we go. So it looks like an S. could be wrong about that. Like a lot of players, you have a lot of people draw the tiles and arrange the tiles in lots of different ways. Some people like to make sure that they're the right way up. Other people aren't bothered. They'll just sling them on the rack, any angle or whatever. It's people order them in different ways as well. It's all really interesting. But yeah, I looked at a bit of a clunky rack for. Yeah, down goes Fugio. Oh, it does look like an S. So it looks like keeping SL there. So it's going to be pretty strong. Looks a pretty strong option. Fugio, 26. But as you can see, Wasim in the top left has the blank. It's a pretty ugly tiles to go with it, but the blank is a huge early bonus. Obviously, not going to be able to bonus soon, but always great to have the blank on your rack. Looks like he's maybe looking at core win through the eye. Not a lot of options with this rack. The C makes it difficult to really do much. F and W, pretty good for parallel players. You're looking at something like If under the I in Fugio, playing something along there, like Fawn, that kind of thing, but it's not great. Has 2 N's on his rack, so he's probably really looking to play off an N, as well as the W, the F, the C. Basically, most of his rack, apart from the blank, quite happy to get rid of, really. The C's good. The C's good for bonusing. You're really looking to get rid of the priority tiles here for Wasim, to get rid of the W, the F, and the N. They're the priority tiles to play off, because they're not very conducive to bonusing. And with the blank on the rack, you want to get that bonus down. That 70, 80 point play. And you see on the right, Imad, who's leading by 26, but has only been one move played so far. He has not a bad rack. He's got a duplicate problems there, 2 L's, 2 A's, but it's a pretty good bonusy rack. But as I say, Wasim to play. And we could cycle through the options with this one. As it's not the easiest rack, just to kind of try and find something that's going to get rid of some of the rubbish there. It's one of those where, as I say, you're really looking to get rid of a W, an N, and an F, but you're very much restricted. You can only do so much on a rack. And it's kind of like, what's going to be the kind of sacrifice you're going to go for? So it looks like it's looking at Golf, which I think just means to play golf, I think, from memory. So there's a few of those. As far as our word list goes in Scrabble, there's a lot of words that they're basically Scottish, And golf is one of them. Just means to play golf. But he looks like he's gone for fawn. So he's gone for a little bit more score. It's a little bit more open than golf as well. Fawn's going to take a lot of extensions, which he's hoping will be of benefit to him with a blank. Oh, horrible pickup for Wazim, though. So, yeah, another W, horrible rack that it is Imad to play, leading by 4 points. So, Imad, no blank, but has lots of good tiles to go with it, but too many tiles to go with it. In the case of L's and A's, he's really looking to play off AL. Doesn't really need to do more than that. It's such a strong rack. And you really look to play off an A and an L and leave as much as possible, really. But it's gone for a bit more turnover. Interesting. I guess it's not great options here just to play at AL, but I'd have certainly been looking at that just to play AL off that. It's going to be very strong rack leave. Trouble with Fallen is it breaks up a lot of your good tiles. And when you don't have the blank, you're so much more open to what you draw. They went for Fallen. That was 18. Wazim has changed, unsurprisingly, with that 6 consonant rack, 2 W's and everything else. So back on turn with Imad, as you can see. He's leading 44 to 22, 22-point lead. Is that an N? Oh, yep. Yep, he has a mistake. Ketmias, and has gone for Mankiest. Mankiest. So that's going to be 82 points. That looks the best. That looks the best player. It certainly was a mistake to play that. Mankiest scores as much as anything. Oh. But Mankiest is 82. Put him over 100 up, and then Wazim immediately hitting back with I'm not sure what that is. That's a P. That's not a word. That's not a word. You can have extirps with an I, EXTIRP, but not with a U. I don't know what he's made a blank, but whatever it is, this isn't a valid move. So, Imad, having a good look at this. Looks like you've got a challenge. So this is going to come off. This is a big error. Wazim is going to miss a turn. And yeah, the player goes back on his rack. Yeah, it's a big mistake. He's still going to have lots of bonuses, scoring pretty well next turn, but losing a turn there, that's a big deal. So yeah, back with Imad. And of course he knows exactly what Wazim will have. So you can maybe factor that in to what he plays, try and block what the best kind of option was. Imad leading by over 100 still, obviously, after that pass from Word challenged off. So 126 to 22, and Imad has just changed. So 2 players score nothing, essentially. So back with Wazim. This is still trained by 104. So he's still got plenty of options here. Even just playing Tux without the bonus is going to be a strong move because it leaves such a strong rack. If he plays Tux in the bottom left underneath the MA and Mankiest, then he leaves ERST blank, which is almost always going to bonus next turn. You're almost always going to get 80 points next turn, so almost as good as bonusing, but probably not quite. So yeah. So yeah, I can sympathise with Wazim. It's such a tough thing to do when you're playing at this level. You've been playing, this is the 26th round, you've been playing game after game, you get tired. The pressure goes on, you're being watched online. So it adds to the pressure. You make more mistakes. Oh, what's he doing now? So yeah, again, I'm not sure what he's going for, but again, this is not going to be valid. So made the blank a C, but again, it's going to be a phony. Oh. So again, that's going to come off. Yeah, it's just maybe getting a little bit too greedy, but the pressure. Unless you be there, you can't really put that through to people. You can't really convey how difficult it is. It's like things you had previously plays you had previously that you'd be normally no problem with. You just play no brainer every time. All of a sudden, you just feel like your brain plays tricks on you. And just to make things even worse, down goes Esprits for Imad. And now Imad is way ahead, 201 to 22. And yeah, there's a lot of options there with that. Like, looks like it's going to be challenged as well, but that's going to be good. Priests would have also played. You could play that two columns over to the left, starting above the I. So Priest would have been a little more, but Esprit's still pretty good. And yeah, huge lead, 201 to 22. So yeah, looking bad. I mean, Wazir's not out of this. I mean, it could be that even just limiting the loss could be crucial if the third place player, Hamad, doesn't win. Then it's going to be these two again in the final round. And each point of spread could matter. If he gets this down, even if he just loses by 50 points or 100 points, then Wazim would just need to win again. Would just need to win that amount plus another 18 points. So, even if Wazim doesn't win this, he can still win the tournament by winning the next game. If Hamad in third loses their game, they'll play each other again. These two, yet again, game number 7 between the two of them. So he's going to try and get his head on, try and play a bonus here. He's still going to have options. He's looking at one now, Sex Duor, which is good. That will play underneath Fon. And yeah, good play. Just need to get his head together. Yeah, he's made 2 bad mistakes, but it's not all over yet. He's just going to keep trying his best. Try and keep a level head is such a tough thing. And yeah, down it goes. So Sexture is good. And so that brings Wazim back into it. He's still nearly 100 behind, 201 to 108. But so many things can happen in the game of Scrabble. Like picking out 4 O's, for instance. It's a funny old game, isn't it? So quickly down goes Balmy. For Imad. So quick play. Scores 36. Makes the scores 237 to 108. There's the ugly stuff for Wazim, but should be able to do something at least. It's not one of those. It's a horrible rack, obviously, but you can kind of play through this with the H. The H gives some scoring options at least. And so what's he looking at? Outdoor. But yeah, the edge is going to give some scoring options. It's not going to be brilliant, but at least it'll tick over something and you can kind of work through. It's not worth changing here. You can play off a couple of O's and an H perfectly reasonably. And it's going to be like 22 points onto that triple. Alongside Barmy, you play H double O. If you want to be more aggressive, you could play Oho. That would make it easier to get a bonus down in the next column. But given his rack is so bad, you know, he's going to be leaving double O U T. He probably doesn't want that open lane. He just wants to be defensive until his rack improves. Okay, so it's gone for a change. I don't agree with that. I think Ho is just playing H double O is worthwhile, particularly as that triple. It's going to be pretty good. But I mean, yes, if he draws an S, then it'll be maybe a good idea. So there's different ways to look at it. But personally, I would have probably played through that. But wow, oh my god, wow. Now he's got 7 consonants. It's just it never rains but it pours, doesn't it? It's just brutal. Brutal game, Scrabble. I can tell you that for nothing. People have no idea how brutal it is. Meanwhile, Imad gets Irva down, puts him 262 to 108. Looks like Wazim has changed the 6 letters he just picked up. It's probably getting fed up at this point, which is fair enough. It didn't. He had to change there. There was no real option. So, oh wow. And Imad has got the blank. Looks like Oilia plus a blank. So, I think we're going to see a bonus go down. He's really rubbing salt in the wounds. Imad already 154 points up. Yep, Oilia plus a blank. I think we're definitely going to see a bonus here. And Wazim had his first kind of playable rack for a while. But he's not going to be happy here when he sees Roylia go down. I hope Imad's not thinking of Royalies here. No, he's looking at Royaliest. Okay. That's pretty aggressive, actually. Although, yeah, I can see why he's doing that. He doesn't want to... You could play Roylia in the second column alongside Irva. So the second column down. But that would open up the triple lane. And given he's got such a big lead, he doesn't obviously want to do that. It's good for Royaliest. There was another option, which is probably a little bit better, Lyriop. That would have played with Up and Ari in that second column. That wouldn't have opened up triple lane. But yeah, Royaliest is a little bit more defensive, which makes sense given he's so far ahead in this game. So back on with Wazim, trailing by 200 odd. 218, we've all been there. Horrible game, but we're just going to try his best here. Strange things can happen in Scrabble. And all the bad things that have happened to him also happened to his opponent. And also, he could get a blowout game in the final game if results go his way and he ends up playing Imad again. He could get a game where he just blitzes his opponent, wins by 250, 300. He's going to keep his head up here. God, he's got a horrible pickup to the Q. But Jeton was good. Scores 40. And reduces the lead to about 180. 178 in it. Imad has all the U's that Wazim would like to have on his rack. So it looks like Imad is looking at Korg. C-O-G-U-E. He has we. It looks like Korg. C-O. So it's a pretty awkward rack. He has the U. That, as I say, Wazim would like to have. Unusually in this game, there are no S's left, so 6-2-R not going to be extended at any point. And then, yeah, down goes Korg, leaves the W-E-U a little bit ugly, but W combination's pretty nasty, but not a lot of options there. Yeah, I didn't really want to open up. He could have played. There's a nice little slot in of Wex, where Fon is. Easy to overlook that because Fon, Fone, didn't used to be good, but it could only be you can only have Fon, Fone, but now you can have Phones, Fone, yes. So Wex would have slotted in. The blank complicates and everything else, but yeah. Quick reply, obviously getting rid of the Q from Wazim. And ugly letters for Imad, but managed to find wedge you like, even the horrible WU, but you'd be happy with that. He's got on 39. He's getting the game over with, which really, he's in such a strong position in the tournament. He almost just wants to consolidate that. He doesn't really want to gamble. And he's just quite happy to just take the win by 150, 200. And so that's good for him. And he's currently by 201, so he doesn't really want to. He quite happily end the tournament right now, basically. So it's a different mindset. And psychologically, Scrabble is such a tough game because of things like this can happen, where mistakes snowball, and yes, obviously Wazzy made mistakes, but he didn't deserve to be losing by 200. But things happen like that. Alternatively, you could play two 40s and end up winning by 100. You think random things happen in Scrabble. It's such a tough game because you got to keep your head on and try and play your best, regardless of all the kind of carnage that's happening around you. So Wazim on turn. His first decent wreck for quite a while. Horny PA is wreck. Reasonably well balanced. Maybe it'll score quite well with this, but again, not going to be good for bonusing, but should have options. So alongside the C looks good. So again, it's kind of one you overlook a lot. He's got RHY, making CH and OY. Very difficult to kind of. It's one you could easily miss, basically, because you're not really focusing on that too much. You're kind of looking elsewhere. There are more obvious places, so you'd be looking at maybe trying to play through something through the AR, where Quat and Jeton have played the top right of the board. You're looking to try and play something through there with the Y or the H. But it doesn't look like there's much there available. I've probably seen something like Hog with that Oin Code. You've probably seen Hog pretty quickly. So he's probably looked at that and then having a look elsewhere. But Hog's pretty good. That's actually the second best player after Rai by the looks of things. But yeah. Consolation, which you won't know, is that Imad has a pretty horrible wreck. You can see in the top right. Can't quite tell if it's yeah, it looks like 6 vowels plus a W. So Wazim's going to make up a bit of ground here. But yeah, still trying my 201 as things stand. So, yep, just goes with Hog in the end. I'd say Rai, RHY was a little bit better, but pretty much nothing in it, really. Down goes Hog. And reduces the lead to 170. Ooh, picked it pretty well, so it got the ZE now. So it'll help. Should help to really reduce the scores. But yeah, that was a good spot from Imad. Horrible wreck. But even with that, you still got to look, and you spotted Ouija, as in a Ouija board. So nicely played. Very happy to see that. That J stay available. And yeah, good spot. To give you some context, Ouija has a value of 30, so it's cost 36. The rack lever is pretty bad. So the tiles are bad, so they're going to reduce your future scores, basically. So the value is about 30. The next best play is worth 3. So if you don't spot a Ouija there, it's a big miss. But yeah, well spotted. And quickly, we see Wazim playing just the Z off. And the Z next to Ouija, jet on in that little nook. Got the QZJ just sitting there in that top right corner, all kind of diagonally to each other. So that brings it the scores up to date now. We're at 419 to 257, 162 deficit, a difference. And Imad has lined up B Went. I'm not sure what his last house, I don't know. Yeah. We've got B Went and O. I'm not sure. Yeah, B Went plays nicely in that second column alongside Irva. That's probably what he's looking at. That's a perfectly reasonable play. Also kind of closes the board down a little bit. That lane for sevens is a big threat. As I say, in Imad shoes, you don't really want to get hit by a bonus here. You just trying to kind of consolidate your lead as much as you can. And because you're in such a strong position in the tournament. So down goes that. B went 28 and quickly hitting back by pair from Wazim. For 50. So in that kind of, it's a more defensive option, but it did kind of work against him, giving back 50 points. But as it was about consolidating. You could have got, it's a little bit unlucky to get hit by pair, but it's probably one of the worst things it could get hit by. I'd say the bag's pretty dead here, so it's all really about. Obviously, the game is all but over as a contest, but the difference here, 140, Imad on 447, Wazim on 307, 140 difference. Getting that difference down, it could be crucial in the end. So every point matters here. Looks like we had a score through. Just mention Imad in the lead, yeah. So yeah, Imad leading by 140 according to my scores. I don't know if there's a challenge penalty. I know there was. I think Esprit's got challenged. So I don't know if there's a challenge penalty in this tournament. That would, if there is a challenge penalty, then that would increase Imad's lead by another few points. So yeah. So interesting wreck. Imad to play. I missed a button play here. I don't think so. So yeah, Imad to play. Wazim. Well, looks like a good play going down now. Some frantic pen work there. So yeah. So yeah, in the context here, there's only 4 tiles in the bag. That was before Imad just played his move. So this one is it's pretty much over. There's not really any big bonus threats. I mean, that E and Wedgie looked pretty helpful, but so interesting. So given the context again, that's a very defensive play. I mean, it makes sense, but just like Imad thinking all about consolidating his lead. Just block that E with Dev. So this was him to play. Oh yes, I think we've had a quick play. Wazim in the top left as well. Who's played Dan. 4-5-4 to 3-3-2 is the scores I have. And looks like Ormic going down from Imad. We had some fun plays there. See if you can spell. There's a word there he had, which is by far the best play. Dotch me eye through the eye in wedgie, which has been a fun one. But Ormic's pretty solid. Scores 20, leaves DI, or probably be able to go out with that. And Wazim just played Arc very quickly. Scores 31. And yeah, a multitude of outs for Imad, and he takes one with Lloyd. It also got slightly more with Utid, but Lloyd for 9 will do it. So according to my scores, that makes Imad the winner. 491-363, 128 points. But yeah, there's a bit of a disaster for Wazim, but it could still work out for him. He could still win this. So I make the margin 128. So that would make it, with a bit of maths, 146. So if Hamad in third lost their game, Wazim can still win the tournament if he wins the last game by 146 or more. Well, it'd have to be 147, I guess. 146 would create a tie. So we'll just have to see what happens with other games. But yeah, that was a bit of a disaster for Wazim. It's the way it goes, though. Something I really can't convey the pressure you have when you're playing in the top table. People talk about pressure, particularly with sort of in cricket and that kind of thing, other games where they see experience as being just a universally positive thing. Like, where the more experience you are, the better you are in pressure situations. Well, it doesn't work like that, really. It's all about how you handle the pressure. It's like, if you've had bad experiences in pressure situations, then they work against you. Trust me, generally speaking. I mean, obviously you can learn from them as well. You make them good experiences in that respect, but it's still going to be painful, obviously. But having that pressure and kind of having bad experiences, obviously the ideal is you have experience where you win, and then it helps, and you're confident. But then, of course, Scrabble is about being level-headed. So it's no good being overconfident and trying things you shouldn't. But as I say, when you're in this pressure situation, you're tired. What I would say is word certainty. So people have how certain they are words is totally different when you're in a situation like this. So like a word that you're 99.9% sure of in a normal game, where there's not much pressure and you're just playing normally and all that. Like in a situation like this, you could be like 80% sure of it. It just exaggerates every little uncertainty. And then you kind of feel like you almost have to like gamble to compensate. It's very hard to kind of explain it unless you've been in that situation. Like everything, there's no kind of black and white anymore with like, yeah, that's a word, that's not a word. All those black and whites become basically the grey area. And everything feels like, oh, you just wish you could play like retains rather than have a word that you're kind of, 80% sure of, and it's like torture basically. Trust me, it is tortuous when you haven't got that word certainty, when you just have words that you're just not sure of. It's just, you just want something that's simple and basic. So yeah, I can completely sympathize with anybody who plays in this pressure. The pressure makes you do stupid things, basically. Like I lost. I got knocked myself out of a tournament by miscalculating end games. Like I just didn't add up the scores right. I thought their player would score 36, and then when it actually scored 30. so instead of, and then I miscalculated my own play by 2 as well. So like the score difference, like I thought I was going to tie the game which would have been bad. Then I reworked it out, and I thought I was going to lose. But in actual fact, I would have won all the time if I just played the best moves. But the pressure, just let you be there. You just no idea how bad it is. It's incredible. So yeah, it's a tough game. And yeah, my hats off to any top Scrabble players. Everybody's, people who've won tournaments, they've also lost tournaments in painful situations. Everybody's had to go through it. Whether they're the best player in the world, or some of you just won a few local tournaments or whatever. Everybody's gone through these kind of stresses and had tournaments where they've come back from the dead to win, and other times where they've snatched, defeat from the jaws of victory. I mean, it's the way it goes. And you get these horrible runs where you have a losing streak and a winning streak. So yeah, I remember a time I was at. We had the best player in the world, Nigel Richards. He was 3 or 4 wins clear. He lost the last 5 games of the tournament, I think, maybe 6. And another player won the last 8 to overtake him, and they played each other like the last 3 of those games, I think. It's Lewis Mackay and Nigel Richards. Now so everybody. Nobody is spared the pain of Scrabble. Ah, dear. So yeah, we'll have a look. We haven't got another result in yet. So just to confirm, the scores have gone through. The margin on the scoreboard is 129 for that game. Obviously, we had 128 with Quackle, but you get little scoring errors and such. So yeah, Wazim is in second. He's trailing by 293 points of spread. So if they end up playing against each other again, Wazim would need to win by 147, and he would overtake him. Anything less wouldn't be enough. But it's going to depend on the player in third, how their game goes. The player in third wins, then they will overtake Wazim, and they will probably play Imad in the final round. Because the player in third, they're a win behind Wazim, but their spread is already much better. It's 1,322. They actually came to this round with the same spread. So if Hamad wins their game, they're playing Basil Khan. If Hamad wins, then he will play Imad in the final round. And also, for Hamad, it'll depend on how much they win by as well. It's not just coming down to wins, it's coming down to points difference and spread. But yeah, I have no idea how far progress that game is, but yeah, that's basically the equation. One more game to go in the final round. It will go down to the final round. Whatever other results go, it will go down to the final round. Maybe it'll be Wazim need to win by 147. Maybe it'll be Hamad needs to win by 50, 100. I might just need to win by any margin just to win. So that's likely to be the situation. So hopefully everybody will be around for the final round to see how all this plays out. So for now, I'll hand you back, and looking forward to that last game. Of course, if you have any questions, do feel free to fire away. Always happy to answer them.
Right now I have Sayyid Imad Ali's father with me और इस वक्त सैयद इमाद अली आखिरी मैच बाकी है और अभी वसीम खत्री को हरा के अभी दोबारा उन्होंने अपनी फर्स्ट पोजीशन मेंटेन कर ली है. तो अंकल आपका क्या कहना है, मतलब कैसा लग रहा है उसकी परफॉर्मेंस देख के, क्योंकि ही इज़ वेरी यंग.
हाँ एक्चुअली काफ़ी बीच में गैप आ गया
जी बिल्कुल.
इन कॉम्पिटिशन्स में, तो अब जब इमाद ने स्टार्ट किया तो थोड़ा सा वो हम फील कर रहे थे कि वो थोड़ा लाइट है, मतलब वो 11 पोजीशन तक चले गए.
जी.
तो जाहिर है कि हमने कहा कि क्योंकि गैप आ गया है बीच में तो वो एक
प्रैक्टिस आउट हो गई.
बट ये कि वो आज जो हम इधर आए हैं वो अट्रैक्शन ले आई है हमें कि माशाल्लाह अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, और वसीम तो माशाल्लाह
जी.
इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट प्लेयर. तो इट्स अ गुड प्रोग्रेस, मतलब मैं कह रहा हूँ कि इतने गैप के बाद अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है मेरे हिसाब
बहुत
से.
अच्छी बात है.
वेरी गुड टू सी.
तो घर पे ये प्रैक्टिस करता था या क्या, मतलब पेंडेमिक में क्या कर रहा है इसने?
इनका ये है कि ना यू कांट जज हिम
या
क्या कर रहे हैं, मतलब नॉर्मली टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करता, पढ़ाई कर रहा होगा, ये स्क्रैबल अब आजकल मोबाइल पे आ गया तो आदमी पता नहीं चल रहा होगा, तो वो लगे रहते हैं कुछ ना कुछ पढ़ना, खेलना, प्रैक्टिस करना, टाइम ज़ाया नहीं करते वो.
टाइम ज़ाया नहीं कर क्योंकि इमाद वैसे भी एक खामोश तबीयत का है. आप अभी भी अगर देखो तो उसको वो एक्साइटमेंट नहीं है इतनी, वो मतलब इतना शो नहीं करता.
हाँ एक्चुअली ये
टेम्परामेंट
अच्छा है
हाँ
माशाल्लाह,
अच्छा है
बचपन से ना हम
वाकई.
देख रहे हैं. मैं अभी पिछले दिनों पुरानी फोटोग्राफ देख रहा था, तो इसका जो फर्स्ट इसने वन किया था
जी
2014 में,
2014
2014 में, तो फर्स्ट कंपटीशन था वो, तो
जी.
मतलब कोई वो नहीं है ऐसे इम्प्रेशन ना कि भाई बहुत बड़ा कोई तीर मार लिया.
सही बात है, क्योंकि इतने कम टाइम में वो एक नेशनल चैंपियनशिप, वो भी मास्टर्स
हाँ.
कैटेगरी की, इतनी अच्छी खेल रहा है. इसके लिए तो वाकई आपको भी बहुत फख्र महसूस हो
नहीं,
रहा
और ये देखें क्रेडिट जाता है साथ के जो बच्चे हैं ना,
है. जी
they really support each other, और तारिक साहब तो माशाल्लाह इज लीडर, तो बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं और बकअप करते हैं बेसिकली. तो यही है, मतलब मॉरल सपोर्ट होती है
जी.
बच्चे के साथ, तो आगे बढ़ता है वो. गुड ओवरऑल.
चले इंशाल्लाह देखते हैं. होप फॉर द बेस्ट. थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू.
थैंक यू. थैंक यू. Silence, please. इस वक्त मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं सैयद फ़हीम नकवी साहब, जो कि पाकिस्तान स्क्रैबल एसोसिएशन के एक बहुत ही पुराने मेंबर हैं. और जितने भी प्लेयर्स अभी हम देख रहे हैं जो खेल रहे हैं, इनके स्टूडेंट्स हैं, इनके शागिर्द हैं. इन्होंने उनको सिखाया है, हमारे सीनियर मेंबर्स में से हैं, काफ़ी अरसे से खेल रहे हैं. इवन तारिक परवेज़ साहब जो हैं जो इसको लीड करते हैं इस प्रोग्राम के, वो भी ये कहते हैं कि ये उनके पार्टनर हैं, इन्होंने उनको सिखाया और उनको वापस स्क्रैबल की तरफ लेके आए. तो आप बताइए, आप कैसा फील कर रहे हैं इस तरीके से नेशनल चैंपियनशिप को? 32nd ईयर है उसका, कैसा लग रहा है आपको?
बात यह है कि बिल्कुल ऐसे ही जैसे कि एक माली खुश होता है, बीज बो के और फिर उसको पौधे निकलते हैं और दरख्त। तो हमने तो अब एज 65 हो गई है, लेकिन बड़ी मेहनत और बड़ी तगदो और पीएसए का काम या स्क्रैबल का काम ऐसे किया है जैसे घर का काम। तो अब तो खैर बुढ़ापा भी आ गया है, लेकिन ये खुशी होती है कि नए नए बच्चे ऊपर आ रहे हैं और वो सीख रहे हैं और समझ रहे हैं। मैं स्कूलों में भी सिखाता हूँ और इंशाल्लाह ताला अल्लाह ने चाहा तो मुस्तकबिल और अच्छा शानदार हो।
इंशाल्लाह। आपको ज़ाहिर है काफ़ी साल से खेल रहे हैं और आपने कहा कि फैमिली है स्क्रैबल, एक घर का काम करके करते हैं, तो उसके बारे में क्या है? अब जैसे फैमिली आपकी बढ़ती जा रही है और नए बच्चे आ रहे हैं, इमाद खेल रहा है वसीम खत्री के साथ, वो अभी जीत भी रहा है, उसके बारे में क्या कहना है? और बाकी बच्चों को देख के आपको क्या लगता है?
बात यह है कि ये वाहिद ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसमें बाकायदा वाकई में एक घर का सा माहौल है। अब आप एक लड़की हैं और आपने देखा होगा कि आप इजीली फील करती हैं। इसी तरह सारी बच्चियां, लातादाद बच्चियां आई और उनकी शादियां हो गई, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ का माहौल बहुत बेहतरीन, बहुत अच्छा। और मेरे ख्याल है वाहिद ऐसा इदारा या वो है डिपार्टमेंट है कि जिसमें बिल्कुल घर का सा माहौल है, सब एक दूसरे का साथ देते हैं, ख्याल करते हैं, सिखाते हैं। और यही वजह है कि बच्चे हमारे माशाल्लाह तरक्की कर रहे हैं। और हम सिर्फ स्क्रैबल नहीं सिखाते, अदब लिहाज भी सिखाते हैं, उठना बैठने में भी सिखाते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे बच्चे बाहर जाकर के भी खेलते हैं और वहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा ये चीज़ नोट की जाती है। इसलिए हमारा कोशिश ये होती है कि खेल के साथ साथ उनको तहजीब भी सिखाएं।
बिल्कुल। थैंक यू सो मच आपके टाइम के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच। Right now, I have Nasir Altaf, who started way back in 2004 and won the junior category in the Inter-School Scrabble Championship. So he's a perfect example who started young and he is now here. So please tell me something about your experience and your journey.
So to be honest, my journey started in around about 2003 when representatives from PSA actually came to our school to talk about Scrabble and how it's played and what. So that really intrigued me. So उस वक्त से I started playing. 2004 में I started playing. 2004 में I competed, won the championship. 2005 में again I won the championship at the junior category. But after that I got into studies, so I didn't concentrate on that game more. But now that I'm settled in my job and everything, Allah ka shukr. So now I've started playing again. Right now I'm in the top 10 of the group, and I think it's been an amazing journey. 27 games, over 3 days. It's exciting. It's tiring. All the possible emotions you can think of, you'll find in this tournament, and I think it's been a very rewarding journey. And I'd like to thank Farm Evo, and PSA for organizing this amazing National Scrabble Championship every year, so that we can play and also unwind over the weekend.
So Nasir, what difference do you see? Like you were like one of the oldest players, we can say as well, because you started in 2004. It was way back. So what differences do you see, and what do you think did PSA improve a lot? What about the performance of the young players now?
I think it's. I'm very proud to say that the generation that is actually taking the game forward is the younger generation. And not only are they highly competitive, but the fact that they take it so seriously and are very focused towards it. And I think there are many benefits of playing Scrabble. And these kids are a prime example of, if you start young, you can be great players. Plus, PSA gives them opportunities to go abroad and play in international tournaments. And I think that kind of exposure to get at that age, I think that is something that I could have dreamt of initially, right? So I think keeping that into consideration, I think it's an amazing platform for young kids. And the best part is they are taking the game forward in Pakistan.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Nasir.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Looks like we've got the final round underway. Wazim versus Imad once again. This is the final round. Just to give you the context, Imad leads the tournament from Wazim by a win and 293 points of spread. So not only does Wazim have to win this match, but he also has to win it by 147 points or more to win the tournament. Anything else, then Imad will win the tournament. And good news for Imad. On the top right, he already has the blank. So that's going to already make it difficult. So this is the final round. And it looks like Imad started. Yeah, Imad started the game on the top right with KO. You can see on the screen there. Has picked out the J, which isn't really what you want with a blank, but KO from Imad, and immediately, more or less immediately, looks like Wazim is going for Pila, leaving Eat. Yeah, interesting option. There's quite a few, lots of players there that 6 and 2 threes. What I mean by that is they're kind of similar scores and leaves, or score a little bit more leave isn't as good, or vice versa. Oh wow! So good news so for Wazim. He has picked up the blank after that, but the score's pretty much level as you can see. But Wazim lead by a point, 23-22. Yeah, Imad looking at Jane. It'll go underneath Peeler quite nicely here, making P-A, kin, ale. Will go down nicely. It does create a bit of a hot spot with a J, but it's not a big deal. I think we'll see a bonus from Wazim, which is what we need to make this even more tense and exciting. As the margin of victory, Wazim needs to win by 147 points or more. Otherwise, Imad will win the tournament. So, yeah. Oh, just gone for Jin in the end. Fair enough. It's kept the A back, so that means it can go underneath the J. But I think Wazim's going to get that spot first. So, yeah. 24 points the difference. Imad leading 47-23. But, yeah, good wreck for both players, really, here. I think we're going to see a bit of bingos going down here, a bit of bonus action. The extra L, it's not really what you'd want from Wazim's perspective. It's going to limit options somewhat, but he's still got some pretty good bonuses here. I think we're going to see something go down for a good 70-odd points here. Lots of options. You've got things like you can have talent with an extra L. He's got netball lined up. So yeah, netball would go nicely underneath, making pin and kine. There was him there. And Imad just looking around, nonchalant. He's got his boards already lined up and frame. But yeah, netball looks the best here. One of those wrecks, you'd have a good look at it because plenty of options available. You're probably looking for that ideal one that plays JA, goes underneath that J with an A, but there is actually nothing that does that. So netball is the best of a lot, along with talent with an extra L. So yeah, down goes netball, best play available. And the good thing about that as well, it does create a little hotspot for that Z later on, which is the kind of thing Wazim's going to need to catch up and win by that margin he needs. He needs to win by 147 here. So anything else, as the Imad's going to win. So Imad can play defensively. It's always difficult to know how to play this when all you need to do to win the tournament is not get hammered, is to not lose by 147. How do you play that? Do you play more defensively? I mean, it's the natural inclination to be more defensive, but then if you play too defensively, you're going to score less. You can leave yourself with bad racks, that kind of thing. And you could cause yourself more problems that way. So it's a difficult one to play, but so yeah, netball from Wazim put him up 98-47. But yeah, it looks like we're going to see a bonus straight back. Funereal. Good stuff from Imad. And yeah, there's a few options. There's a slightly better one. Refallen with the F on the double letter score. Get another 6 points, but Funereal's good. And that's going to put Imad up by 21 points. Again, Imad only needs to avoid losing by 147 here or more, and he's going to win the game. So he's quite happy to try and keep this tight as possible. Make sure he doesn't, if he loses by a small amount. Keeps things under control, keeps things quite defensive. And down goes Ayo from Wazim. He's keeping a very strong rack. He's keeping ideas plus Ayo. He played off the Ayo. So both very strong. I mean, the thing with Io, reason that's so strong is keeping the D back for Jin. But unfortunately, yeah, Io goes down. Good stuff, but there was a trouble with that Z spot. Wazim, it was the right thing to do, but unfortunately his opponent drew the Z. So Imad up 184 to 109, but it looks like Wazim played quickly. I don't know if it was a bonus or what. I didn't have a look. So yeah, ID8 goes down. So big bonus from Wazim to keep him in touch, but as I say, needs to win this one big. Another quick reply from Imad, just playing Aviso, picking out the most open spot on the board, that triple. Let's say you want to keep things in control, which you can, and that does that pretty well. No heroics in this game. You just kind of want to play safe. You've got 147 points to play with. You want to play safe, conservative. Take the obvious spots. Don't leave anything where you could get hit by a triple. Concede 150 in one move. So that makes sense. And so let's put back on now with Wazim with a pretty horrible rack. You can see the top left. The old classic BRR. Pretty horrible stuff. BRR COGT. So yeah, pretty horrible rack. Not the kind of thing you're going to catch up with very quickly. But the sort of rack you're going to have to deal with in Scrabble. So yeah, again, aggressive play, but it seems pretty reasonable. It's a perfectly reasonable play that playing Berg. Obviously, trying to open up the board to get some big plays down. She's going to need to catch up that. Let's say that to get to that 147 margin. But it was a good strong play anyway, because it balanced his rack quite nicely. And yeah, so Berg does that. Scores at almost level, 208 to Imad, 202 to Wazim. Not a bad rack for Imad here. If you want to, you could take out that Berg spot immediately. Just play something like Am above it. So yeah, it's good for even better than that. You can extend that from Am, you can make it Rome. And yeah, good conservative play. Again, probably not the strongest play just in terms of score and leave, but in general, in this context of the game, where you try to make sure you don't concede big plays, keep things quite tight, you want to avoid volatility, all that kind of thing. Rome makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it's about position as much as anything in this situation. When you need to win by such a big margin, you can play more defensively if you try and defend it, and obviously more aggressively if you're trying to win by such a big margin. So yeah, Rome looks strong and puts Wazim behind by 29. Imad leading 231 to 202. Wazim to play. Drew Vow to his talk rack, which is nuts so good. But yeah, it's going to be difficult with this rack. It's pretty grotty. It's not the rack you want at any point, really, but particularly when you need to win by such a big margin. It's going to be very difficult to manufacture any sort of score. So Imad doing a good job of managing this board. Wazim did good stuff. Berg was good to open, but Imad had the goods to kind of take it out and not really sacrifice too much in the process. So yeah, looking bleak for Wazim, but you never know. It only takes one or two good picks. I mean, the trouble is with Wazim, both blanks are gone already on this board, so he's going to need to draw bonuses pretty much out of the bag to catch up here to get that 147 margin he needs. He's going to need to like bonus 3 times, probably 4, but certainly 3. He's going to need 3 bonuses, or 3 bonuses where one's really a big one, or his opponent to make a mistake, play a phony, that kind of thing. This is kind of where it's going to be in this situation. He needs those big errors, or needs to put Imad under a bit of pressure. But he's not going to do it with his wreck. Very difficult to do much with that. The best players, they're all pretty low scoring. The highest scoring move available to Wazim here is like 26, which leaves Vow. He could play off. It's quite a strong move. Can't do computer analysis. It likes Wove or the of ideates. Simple as that. So yeah, not very attractive options available, I'm afraid. It's gonna be one of those you just have to kind of play and shrug your shoulders and hope for a good draw, basically. I mean, VOR, if you keep in that kind of those kind of letters, at least you could draw an E, get an over word, that kind of thing. But yeah, not a lot to be done there. So yeah, Wove goes down. And yeah, not much you could do. It was the best player, really. And he only scored 10, so it tells you how good the rack was. But he's not drawn too badly. He's got a couple of E's to work with at least next time. Didn't really want that F, but can't have everything. Meanwhile, Imad has picked some awkward vowels. A little bit heavy with the two I's. The U, not pretty. Does have the S and has immediately played Spawn. She's going to score well again. He just needs to keep scoring. The risk with that is it leaves some pretty horrible. That's a horrible leave. U-double-I. So he could be unable to score anything next turn. But he doesn't. It doesn't look. He's drawn okay to that rack. But he's got another U. So that's the trouble, is when you play defensively like that, you just try to take the points. You risk ending up your rack degenerates. I mean, if you leave two I's and U on your rack, chances are your next rack's going to be pretty ugly. And that's kind of what's happening here. But the thing is, Imad has the points on the board. And so, yeah. You could have actually played that move a little better if you played the U. You could have played Suppawn, not Spawn, Suppawn with the U in. The U's a horrible tile, particularly with that rack. That would have really upgraded his move, but it's quite a tough player. So Imad does have the Scots points on the board. He's 264, 212, 52 points ahead. And he only needs to avoid losing by 147 or more. So Wazim needs a 200-point swing here. They do happen, but not very often. And for that reason, Wazim has opened up the triple once again with Croft. Again, not a lot you could do there. He needed some good floating tiles. Unfortunately, he didn't have those. So he's opened it up, trying to create a bit of pressure, force his opponent to kind of do something with his rack, either block the C off. The triple is probably best hope for Wazim. He really needs one huge play. So Croft does that, but it looks like it's been blocked. I can't quite see. Yeah. So yeah, Kurt goes down, and again taking out the triple's right. Totally the right thing to do. As I say, it's all about the context of the situation. Needing to just avoid losing by 147. That's all about keeping board control, making sure you don't get hit by that big bonus, the triple. Meanwhile, not a great pickup for Wazim. And yeah, he's chasing the game a little bit, but he's doing a good job. He's opening up good lanes, but yeah, just not working for him. And so, good play of Obo by the looks of things, keeping a load of E's back. But yeah, it's a pretty good option, I think. If you can't bonus, then getting a good score of Obo, 28 for that. Imad's still leading in this game marginally, 282 to 271, 11 points the difference. So looking rosy for Imad. Wazim just trying to find ways to create the big lanes, but it's such a difficult thing to do. He just hasn't had the ladders to really do anything. And so we had to play a girl from Imad, making riff and immediately hit back with Seed. Wazim probably going to take the lead now. Yeah, Wazim ahead by 6, but as I say, needs to win by 147. Long way off at the moment. And we're starting to run low on tiles at this point. There are only 15 tiles in the bag. So Wazim running out of time here. He really needs to go bingo, 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 or bonus, 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 depending on what you want to call them. It's one of those things there. UK, we've always called them bonuses. Americans, they call them bingos. So I don't know what your preferred option is. Ooh. So it looks like Wazim has picked out, well, Executor. Can you have it with an E? Oh, you can. Yeah. So you can have Executor. Oh, there it goes. Well, it looked up for there's a little glimmer of hope there. And then, yeah, it's the right option again from Imad. Just to be boring, just block those spots. Now goes Moi from Imad. And yeah, blocks Wazim's Executor through either the E's in Theed. Executor would be good with the E and the O. Executor or Executor. Both good. I wouldn't have been sure of either. Well, I would have been sure of Executor, but not Executor. But these ER, OR ones are always, yeah, funny. But yeah, that's it. Imad doing the job that he needs to do here. And he's done it very well. Whether Imad was losing by 50 here in this game or 20, as it happens, he's pretty much nip and tuck, level and level. Even if he's 20 or 40 behind, he'd still be playing the same way. Try and control the board. Make sure his opponent can't hit him with anything too big. And he's done a really good job controlling the board. And just nothing that can be done, really. From Wazim's perspective, just doesn't have the goods. When both blanks go early, it's really very difficult to get a huge win. The blanks are such a big part of that. You want some natural bonuses, i.e. bonuses that don't have any blanks. Then you kind of want to run into, get a big 70 or 80 with a natural, then draw the blank, get another bonus, then draw the blank, get another bonus. That's kind of how you get those big margins. And with the blank split early on, it left, there wasn't really much way for Wazim to really do much. So Tux was 38 for Wazim. And again, Imad's just playing the tight game, playing UT, blocking that triple, and getting 16 points. There's only 7 tiles in the bag now. And yeah, not a great sight for Wazim. It looks like he's got screws plus an E. And yeah, 7 in the bag. It's now in the situation where you need to bonus twice for Wazim to have any chance whatsoever. But after this, it's not going to be possible. He plays U. He doesn't really have any alternative. Best play by a mile. Puts him up by 40, but as I say, he needs to win by 147. So yeah, good luck doing that. When you're going to only bonus once, you can get a bonus 70, 80 points, but then your opponent gets 30 or 40. So you're only getting like 50 points. You need 2 bonuses basically to have a chance. And so yeah, that's a slight mistake, I would say, maybe. Emptying the bag here with Tangy, but it shouldn't matter. But yeah, slight mistake. Yeah, that could have been a little bit dodgy. Yeah, that could have been slightly dodgy. Just because it empties the bag, as I say, and you're leaving Q. If you draw Q, and your opponent bonuses out, as I say, the score is 380 to Wazim. He scored 36, but I don't think you needed to play. I think it was a bad idea to play all of those tiles. If you just played something like Gay, for instance, that would have been fine. But emptying the bag is a little bit risky. Yeah, but it should be fine. It looks like it's pretty much curtains for this one. And so yeah, one thing it's all about pride now. This game is the game results up for grabs, but the tournament is not. It looks very much like Wazim is going to finish second or third, but Imad looks like he has the tournament wrapped up now. You only need to avoid losing by 147 or less. Or more, sorry. And it looks like Wazim does not have any bonuses available. So it's just a case of who wins this game, really. Wazim can still get caught in second. If Wazim wins this game, he'll get second. So that's what he's playing for now. Has to be a little bit careful because excuse me. Wazim is leading by 4 here, but as you can see on the top right, Imad has Inquire. So you have to be a little bit careful. Make sure he doesn't open that up by accident. It doesn't play as things stand. So yeah. But yeah, once again, looks like Imad is going to win the Gladiators 32nd Pakistan Scrabble Championship. Looks like, yeah, looks well done to him. He's won 6 games in a row to get here, to get into this position. Whether he wins his last game, it doesn't really matter. It's academic. He's done what he needed to do. He's going to win. Whether he wins the last game or not, he's going to win the tournament. Where he loses by 20, 30, where he wins by 10 or whatever. It doesn't matter. He's done what he needed to do here. And we just got this last rights to play out here. Can Wazim get the second place? But yeah, Imad has it locked up. He probably knows now. He's probably tried to keep his poker face going. And Wazim knows. It's kind of one of those things that just kind of dawns on you. You kind of, chances of winning, they're going like 99%, 99.9%, but you're still kind of worried that that miracle thing could happen. And you just kind of realize, right, I must have won now. Yep, that's it. You just get to the point where if I don't make any mistakes, I'm going to win. And then it gets to a point where I've won now. Unless the some 120 point player comes down, I've won the tournament. And it's like the gradual realization that you've won kind of seeps through. But, yeah, Wazim, he has a few players here to win. As I say, which will be important for him to get the second place. If he wins this game, he does get second. He won't catch Imad's spread. So the second is as good as he's going to get. But he has a few winning players here to at least get that second place, regardless of what happens elsewhere with other results. So that's important. He's gone through the options. As I say, you have to be careful with Imad having Inquire. So it looks like he's gone for Scrag, and yeah, that's a good spot. It's a good spot. That will indeed, it should win the game. Looking at computer analysis, Scrag should win the game. He's got options with Shed. He can go out in a few, one main spot, I guess. But it's very important. Yeah, he's going to win. He should win that end game by playing Scrag. So down goes Scrag. That puts Wazim up by 22. And yeah, it's very difficult to block Shed. You could probably block it, but you're going to sacrifice a lot of your own options in the meantime. So down goes Quint, 35. That'll give Shide back. So it does block Shed, but it gives back Shend. It gives back Shide. But that was about as much as Imad could do. And immediately Shed goes down with netballs. So yeah, couldn't be blocked. So down goes Shed. So Wazim wins this game, 4-2-5 to 4-1-1. But it's all about the greater context of the tournament. Imad wins the tournament. Congratulations to him. And wins it with a 19-8 record. But it's all about the end result of the tournament. And Imad did all he needed to do, control the ball brilliantly, kept everything tight. He was never going to lose by 147. And he had a great control on that board. And once he blocked Executor, that was it. That was GG. That was the tournament in the bag for Imad. So again, congratulations to Imad. Brilliantly played. He did lose that last game, but he won the previous 6, and that's where it all mattered. He kept his nerve. Not an easy thing to do with all that pressure, particularly at such a young age. Playing the pressure, it's so difficult. Like, anybody who plays without making huge mistakes, that's all you can ask at this. When you have all that pressure, you have the fatigue building up over 27 rounds of Scrabble. All I can ask is you just don't make those big mistakes. You're going to make little mistakes, but he did everything right. So congrats and well-deserved title for Imad Ali. You see lots of all of his friends and competing players he's probably beaten at one point or another in this tournament. All giving him handshakes and everything else. COVID safe fist bumps and everything else. But yeah, well done to him. Brilliantly done. And well done for Wazim. He kept his nerve there, made sure he got the end game worked out to get his second spot. We'll have to see how the other results go for the other finishers, but well done to both.
Hi, Craig. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Oh, yeah. Hello. Hello, Craig. Can you hear me? That's from him. I think.